una talaga naming team is magkakahiwalay talaga kami. Siguro mga way back 2016 or 2015 ng LCL. Lagi kami nagka-qualifiers laban-laban. Tapos nung last split lang kami nagsama, si Chan yung nag-captain sa amin. And yun, binuo namin yung team. And sa tingin namin, mas solid yung team namin ngayon kaysa mga nakaraan. And ngayon, yung support namin, I think mas comfortable siya ngayon sa mga meta na support picks ngayon. And yun, isa rin sa maging susi para manalo kami sa championship. Sana galingan natin lahat sa finals and bigyan natin na isa't isa ng magandang game. And may the best team win.
And may the best team win in the LVL Finals. My name is Vulcan. With me is Atlas, your shoutcasters entering the third game. So hearing what Navi said, that they are actually a solid team, it just showed in Game 2.
Definitely a lot different from how they were going with Game 1 and their bomb.
The
Zoe did so much to help them win. TUP just were able to counterattack all of the pressure that UST gave them. They were able to counterplay the aggression that UST was giving them, and that actually gave them the win. And Bomb, so much pressure in the mid lane against Sarah. Roaming around was very well played as well. And in that late game, that last fight, that game-ending play where he sniped Carrots, just to one-shot him, that actually ended the game and let Acedia just get that Nexus clean.
With his Yorick, and because of the performance of Baam, he will be the player of the game with that insane Zoe. I heard it from the crowds, you guys cheered on. With Baam Zoe, this enables TUP to reset, kind of making it this best of 3 series, because from this point on, they need to get 2 wins so that they could actually take away the championship.
And this is so much on the line that you discussed earlier. The legacy of the team, the legacy of this specific roster for both teams, it's definitely on the line here. They want to be able to leave their mark in the very first term of the LoL Varsity League. And it's a momentous part of esports history, of collegiate esports history. And looking at here right now, it seems like Espiegel will once again be the AD carry for the UST Teletigers Esport Club in this game. So just putting that star player back in the pack right here, seems like that will be the game plan.
Yes, from that game too, we did see UST some transitioning problems. I mean, having 3 losing lanes was one of the difficulties for UST to face against TUP.
Yeah, I think that big problem with the composition they had in the second game was once they lost Carrots, it's all over. Their damage is all only on that AD carry. And even though that is a valid composition to have, it can be pulled off against the well-balanced damage distribution that TUP had. The fact is, since Babyface, they've allocated more resources from Babyface to the bot side, that left Sarah and Cell a lot more starved, and that gave so much dominance here and allowed Za to just gank topside for Acedia and Bomb in the mid lane.
And let's move on to the junglers, because we did talk about how Za was one of the enablers of TUP, especially onto Acedia, and you just saw stats right there for Za. It was the Rek'Sai, where it really was a threat to UST. We did see that ban in Game 1 and banned again. We might see another ban here, but it's really noticeable that UST is really respecting Za as a jungler.
Yeah, he felt really comfortable in that game, being able to...
Game 2, he popped up.
Yeah, Game 2, he felt very comfortable. He was able to put out the pressure that he needed to for his team, and it felt like he had his place in that team because he was able to help out Bomb, able to help out the Acedia pop off. And really, as you said, being the enabler is a very important part in the gameplay of TUP, or actually in any professional or semi-pro team. That jungler is the key to making your lanes succeed. And it seems like here, Espiegel, with now in UST's roster for this game, that could change because he seems a lot more self-sufficient.
Well, nagising si Za, so entering this third game. In Game 1, he was not the same Za we did see in the group stages. Kind of weird. But now, after Game 2, I'm convinced that for TUP, they're trying to bounce back from a rough start. Getting that 1-1, what this means is that, in a way, it's kind of a reset because...
Yeah.
The real reason actually that you want to get the Game 1 is because you want the momentum. But for TUP, they just took that away, giving them a fresh start entering this third game. So everyone, let's get straight to the drafting phase of our third game. This is going to be UST Teletigers on the blue side versus TUP Monstrum Vel Protegium on the red side.
And it seems like the bans are still pretty much the same except for TUP. Now that they're on the red side, rather, they don't want that very annoying, very powerful Zoe getting in the hands of UST, but seems like they have very similar priorities from the previous game. UST wants to go for Jarvan now, and the Shen as well, and now TUP going for the Braum and the Skarner. It seems like UST will now be picking up the Taric for this game as their support. And wow, Acedia getting the Gangplank that was banned away in the previous game.
That's actually really good because, as we all know, a Gangplank in the hands of Acedia, a player who loves the split push, who loves to have presence around the map. The kind of barrage, the global ultimate of the Gangplank will enable him to do that. And he can also split push while doing so.
And there's so much scaling on that Gangplank as well. And against the Shen, it is possibly one of the matchups where he can thrive, especially if it's in the hands of Acedia. Of course, second rotation of bans here. A lot taken away from Sarah here. They will be taking away the Corki and the Cass. And as for UST, taking away the Caitlyn from Navi as well as the LeBlanc, of course, from Baam.
Do you see how many mid lane bans that TP has against Sarah? And as for UST side, again, we're seeing the same bans. One of the consistent bans we are all seeing right now in the LVL finals is that the Rek'Sai will never, in a way, as of
Definitely
now,
not.
will not be given to Za, but in the end, he will still pick up the
Ooh.
Skarner.
Oh,
He had success.
wow. He's locking in.
We are going to have a treat tonight.
The rework Swain. Definitely going to be very interesting. So the reason why they banned out Sarah for the second rotation was because the Gangplank was actually going to be their mid lane pick, possibly here. Man, and the fact that Navi got the Lucian denies it from Espiegel, so now he has to go on that Jinx right there with a Taric. So it's definitely a mix-up here in this third game. A lot of unexpected things happening in the drafting phase, and it's going to be very, very exciting.
I just love how everyone was a bit surprised. So seeing that Swain, so the reason behind those bans, yes, as you said, Atlas, it was the Swain being popped off here, but it would actually go towards Acedia in the top lane. So I thought the Gangplank would be falling to Acedia, but it will not be. So this is pretty interesting. Baam on the Gangplank against Sarah in the mid lane.
Definitely banning out those options for rather Sarah are definitely going to be very tough. So by banning that out, that leaves a lot of room for that Gangplank to thrive in the mid lane. As for Acedia on that Swain, it's going to be very interesting because I think this is the first time we're going to see that reworked Swain in semi-pro play.
And what a better stage than the LVL finals. So let's hope that they did practice the champion here, and knowing a team like TUP, they have done their homework, they did their practice. So when this Swain has been picked up, it is picked with confidence.
Definitely, and it's going to be absolutely crazy to see how this Swain performs. I'm very interested to see how it performs in high levels of play, such as the LVL finals.
I'm pretty sure the viewers right now are audience.
Oh wait, okay, never mind. It seems like Acedia, they did swap it out at the last second. It seems like Baam will be getting that Swain indeed, and Acedia will be going for that Gangplank still.
Looks like we had to retract a lot of statements I said, but
definitely.
yes, kind of makes sense now that the Swain will go towards Baam, and the Gangplank will go to Acedia. So, Atlas, what do you think of how this game is going to turn out? And I think the viewers, our audience right now, they're kind of excited because when I saw that game in Game 2 with Baam finally popping up, he's not anymore playing a champion, especially Galio. He's more focused on a champion with playmaking potential. And now, I think we're ready to witness the third game of the LVL Finals here at Glorieta 4. Here it is, guys. UST Teletigers on the blue side versus TUP Monstrum Vel Protegium on the red side.
It's definitely going to be very interesting here. As you said, as we've discussed, this is a reset of the momentum coming from the previous two games. And both of these teams, they really want to take away the win here. So now they're going a little bit more brave, trying to make a move onto this bottom side. They want to at least put some vision because Babyface and Za, they really want to be impactful in this game.
You know what's going to be very impactful in this game? that Gangplank with the Kleptomancy. So every time I see a Gangplank pop that Klepto stack, it has the small logo of the Kleptomancy. When you hit the target, I just get happy. It's really satisfying and something that you want to be excited for.
Yeah, and he's just going full Gangplank for this one. Seeing as a Cell is on that Shen, so it's not a very big lane bully against that Gangplank. He is free to go for the Relic Shield instead of a more lane-oriented, lane dominance-oriented item. That Relic Shield definitely will suffice for his gold needs in that top side.
And looking at the map so far, yes, the back plank, as you said, Atlas, I feel like Cell is going to feel a bit discouraged to actually get close to the Gangplank because he can't do anything. He can't have a kill pressure. You taunt the Gangplank, you're just going to cleanse out with the Scurvy. So in a scenario where Acedia is already one of the best top laners in the LVL, give him a champion that has no threat towards a Shen, you're just going to scale uncontrollably.
And that really is how he's going to play this lane. Looking at our junglers, however, Babyface wants to really go in early against Bomb.
Really just to scare him away. Kind of a level 2 Gak we saw from Babyface, so he may go towards directly to the blue buff. Who knows? Maybe he will go for the top lane because, as we said, Acedia against Cell. Cell is really trying his best to fight against Acedia.
Yeah, they really want to get Acedia ahead here, while Cell and the rest of the Teletigers, they want to shut him down. And look at here, Cell is getting bullied out a little bit in this top side. Acedia gets the level 2 over him, which should put him for now a little bit of advantage, pushing him away from his own minion wave. Both junglers, if they rotate to this top side, they will meet each other, and it might be bloody.
Let's hope that they don't risk too much here because we are now entering the 3rd game of the LVL Finals. And at this point, the nerves, I think, should start settling in. Look at that dodge by Navi from the Dazzle. So that's a pretty close call for Navi here. But meanwhile, in the Riverside, with that Babyface engaging the Za, he does manage to flash away, so no knock-up happening.
Definitely not favorable for Za to fight in the zone where he does not have control over that Crystal Spire right there. So it seems like he has to retreat, has to use his flash as well.
We're seeing a lot of aggression coming from TUP's bot lane. Normally, when you're running the Braum and Lucian, it's actually a free stack because of the passive of the Lucian and the Braum sync so well together.
Yeah, and it's dealing so much damage onto Crasho, who, unlike Miko, doesn't have a lot of options to trade around in mid-range in this lane, which is where Navi excels most. But there, Navi took a lot of damage from the trade-off between Espiegel and Crasho.
And if you look at the items right as of now, Sarah is actually running the Unsealed Spellbook, yes, and he has the Minion Dematerializer, so they're really going for a lot of pressure in the mid lane because he wants to push out the lane so that he can freely roam with his Realm Ward.
Yeah, you really want that lane priority as that Rise, especially against that Swain. Swain has some pretty good wave clear, but that's only if he gets that time to actually build up his items and really have that way to weaken these minion waves for his Q.
And once you get caught by the Swain's Q, everything just follows up. It's actually a full-blown combo, and the fact that the harassment coming from the Swain is very, very difficult to dodge because the Q sets up everything for the Swain.
Once he has his snare on you with his E as well, it gives him so much short-term sustain in that trade-off. It puts him in range for his Q.
And when you're in that range, as I said, the harassment coming in from the Swain is actually ridiculous. But right now, the bot lane, Lucian Stun will connect onto Miko. They're trading up here. Look at Crusher, very low. The heal has been popped. He will survive for now. But we're seeing right now Babyface in the zone. He's spotted by a ward. He takes it down, and I think the members of TUP, they will just back away. They are respecting the presence of Babyface.
They definitely don't want to dive too deep when Babyface is right around the corner. Electrocute could possibly put them so low, and Espiegel, once he gets a kill, gets that reset, that could possibly be a double kill, and Navi does not want that. You don't want to be a Lucian who is behind in a lane against Taric and Jinx. Definitely not.
And definitely you do not want to feed a Lucian because we did see the result of what happened when a Lucian was snowballing out of control. And this Braum will be a huge, huge obstacle for the bot lane of UST to overcome because the Unbreakable can block so much damage.
So much damage against Espiegel here, but seems like Navi pulling back just to get the BF sword power spike, able to survive more in that lane, trade better against Spiegel. But it seems like across the board here, TUP, it seems like because their lane is a lot more self-sufficient, Za has all of the time in the world to just continue farming it up until he reaches level 6.
Really close call for Za in the jungle, because if ever Sarah did manage to land his E.
Oh man, that is trouble. Death's Hand coming from the Never move deals a lot of damage and puts Bomb ahead in terms of health, but there, Sarah with a fearless trade.
Very close call for Sarah, because that harassment, as we always talked about, is really... you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, Zai is right under a ward here, but it seems like Sarah.
Here comes Babyface, he's going for a knockup there. Demon Extension is coming in with the cannon barrage from the top lane, and here comes Cresho with a heal. This is going to be the first blood going to UST Tigers. Here comes Bam, popping that stopwatch, buys him some time, but he still will fall for the double kill.
Oh man, Za gets caught right there between all of them, and though Bomb was able to get his demonic ascension out, since there were 4 members around him, he wasn't able to get the full value and full damage, even with his stopwatch being burned right there, and Za just gets taken down. And Swain even is only really good in the 1v3s, 1v2s when it comes to him being fed, but there, he's still at the neutral ground where he's just trying to lane. It's not enough damage right now, and that's so bad for him.
Still a baby chick as of now for Swain, because he has yet to build up to the Roa, I would say. Normally, what would you build on Swain?
That Roa will definitely help out a lot, getting it early. The Eternity passive just helps him survive so long in lane in these fights. He constantly uses his mana because of his slow cooldowns, and it gives him so much sustain on top of what he already gets from the Ravenous Flock and the rest of his kit.
Let's hope that for Bab, he can try and build towards that. Get his spike here. Babyface in the bot lane only knocks out Miko. He does go back to Navi, but here comes Saf for the assist. Babyface very low, Drake with Ignite ticking down. Navi takes down Babyface with only 2 members left for the dead lane. That's going to be a cleanup, and here comes Bam from the mid lane. Vision of the Empire will not connect, but it's going to enable Navi for that sweet triple.
That is so good here for TUP, and now Navi is sitting in the position where Spiegel was in the first game, and now because of the aggression coming from the concussive blows of Miko, and Navi just being able to wail on them with his BF sword, so much damage, and I think not just a triple kill, it seems like Za might actually give the first turret gold all to Navi here. That's going to put him so much ahead in terms of gold.
Looks like this will be TUP. I don't think it's going to be a solo gold.
It's not going to be solo gold, but it is just split between Miko and Navi, which is still huge in terms of that gold boost, and he will really appreciate that. So much power going to Navi right now, and that's what TUP wants. It seems like they might actually even go for another objective here. Resho is right around the corner, but it seems like Babyface is not in a position to contest this just yet. This is the Mountain Drake. It could take a while.
They took control of the Crystal Spire, so they can actually rush this Mountain Drake, and won't be a problem. But we're seeing some movements by Cresho here.
Cresho, they want to corner them between Sarah, Cresho.
Will they be sandwiched though? Look at Za, he's very low. Dodges the Dazzle, kind of low on health. They're all focusing on Za, left behind by his team, forced to give a kill to Babyface. On the blue side, we saw Realm Warp in, but the Cannon Barrage is coming from Assyria to slow down the members and zone them out to stop them from chasing his teammates.
Yeah, that short slope perhaps could have saved the rest of TUP there, because if they went within the range of Sarah's snare, it would have been very, very dangerous. But there, Vision of Empire.
Gets the heal. Oh, he's back in. The Wolves are helping him out here, but he will not get taken down just yet.
Not just yet. Not a lot of power on Bomb just yet.
Close call. Assyria forced the flash away. That would be a splash burn by Assyria, so he could not cleanse out of it. It was on cooldown, and I think for Self, he's pretty much happy with that.
Yeah, seems like TUP does not want to give up this midnight turret.
Unbreakable, dealing a lot of damage here. What we're seeing here right now is Za approaching, closing in. He does! He catches the juiciest target there. Looks like Navi takes down Cresho. No more heal, no more passive from the armor. That's going to be a Spiegel just backing away.
Yeah, that also burned the Stand United coming from Cell there. So for the next few minutes, that ability is on cooldown, giving TUP a little bit more leeway to rotate around the map without fear that Cell could respond.
It's like we're seeing a pattern here, Atlas, where TUP loves to focus on the support first, then go for the rest of the fight.
That's actually a lot of merit on that side, because if you take out Crescio,
Take out the tool, the Cosmic Radiance.
the Cosmic Radiance, because that gives Sarah and Spiegel so much time for free DPS. But of course, that could also be just coincidental earlier that the closest target for the Impale was Crescio. But of course, there is merit in going for Crescio.
I mean, the fact that UST, they're kind of relying on the Cosmic Radiance to actually go for the long extended team fight to have a powerful tool to turn things around. I don't think TUP will allow that.
Definitely. They will want to pressure UST as much as possible. And this is pretty much a lot of revenge coming from the first game. Now that the momentum has really equalized in this game, in this third game.
Okay, Bam. He's kind of low. I don't think he can escape here, but he got the slow in, flash in by Sarah. He will take down Bam.
And that's really one of the weaknesses of the new Swain is when he's being put on the defensive. Of course, he's a very sustainable champion with his Never Move, with his Ravenous Flock, but it needs a lot of enabling. And it seems like there might be a fight here in this top side. Teleport coming in from Cell.
Okay, we're seeing Cell approaching slowly towards Miko. Realm coming in too. Osa in the nick of time does manage to get away from the chopper. Cosmic Rays coming in. This is going to be a tower dive by the Tail Tigers. It's going to succeed. Cell takes down Sa. And next is Miko, but he does buy some time with the stopwatch. But in the end, he will be forced to give a kill to Spiegel.
Just really decisive come from the Tele Tigers. They know that they can be a lot stronger with the full team backing them up. But oh man, that's single-handedly denying them the push there. Acedia just clears that wave. And that just puts him a lot more forward in the gold as well.
Acedia has been, disappearing around this team fight, but he has his presence with the Cannon Barrage. And looking at his CS, and I think he has a lot of money in his pocket because the fact that this Gambler has the passive, the Silver Serpents, plus the Kleptomancy, in the long run, TUP, they still have Acedia to depend on.
And UST is really playing around that Gangplank pretty well, I think, in how that they're just because they know that the Gangplank doesn't have a lot of teleport potential, can't really do much. So he's basically just going for the rest of the fights elsewhere on the map.
Excitement on the cinema right now. I guess we will be in a treat later, Atlas. But as of now, for the Tele Tigers, I feel like they're having a good start, wrapping up back the deficit they had. We're looking at a kill score, guys, of 6-4. And the gold lead is just not that much. It's actually on TUP's side, just 2,000. But the third score, they're even. But note that the first third of the game went to who? It went to Navi.
Yeah, and he has 4 kills on his belt as well. So he's very much a dangerous force in TUP's side. And if he can get a good skirmish, if TUP gets a good skirmish with Navi backing him up, and they could possibly just snowball him into oblivion. But UST making
this is going to be a dive. Forces out his Spiegel's flash. Calls in Cell with a Stand United. He does get a slow in. Will they engage? Yes, that's going to be a taunt connecting. And the Spirit's Refuge will deny so much damage coming from Navi. That's going to be the Realm coming in. That's going to be the slow for the Zebra Cannon. This is going to be a tower dive by the Tele Tigers. Looks like Navi. Sayonara, boy!
Oh man, it seems like UST is responding so well to TUP right now. Even with Navi so much ahead, at this point, UST can actually fight them in these 5v4s because Acedia cannot really do much right now. He can split push a lot and bomb as well. Both of these two,
look at that! Look at that flash and ult in. That's gonna be a setup for Bam. Look at the coordination curve from TUP. Shuts down Sarah.
Oh man, that could possibly be
surprise, surprise.
Push onto this mid lane. So UST is attacking where TUP seems to have moments of weakness, the openings, the cracks in their armor, going for where Navi is, going for where they can fight as 5. But it seems like TUP is also striking back where they're strong. Now that Bomb has the GLP, it is a more prudent item in case that you don't think the game is going to last very, very long. So the Roa can't get the full value, but GLP helps Swain so much as well with the active.
Gets a slow down and helps him set up for his combo. And from the top to the mid lane, we're seeing a lot of action, but we're seeing the bot lane. Look at the amount of push that CS has done over there. And looking at the CS, we're seeing a lead of just 30, but that is kind of misleading. When it comes to gold, I bet this Gambler has more.
A lot more. And the fact that UST's been winning these skirmishes and team fights around the map when they're outnumbering TUP is because Acedia hasn't joined them yet. Once he gets more items down his belt, it's going to be much more difficult for UST to make these kinds of moves. And TUP is just waiting for that opportunity for Bomb and Acedia, for both of them to scale up very, very well. And that means Navi, with all of his mid-game power, is basically their safety net in this moment of the game where they can fight back against UST.
So when it comes to the mid to late game Atlas, we're seeing this Rise, this Jinx, plus I don't think we can benefit too much damage coming from the rest of the members. So UST, they have Sarah and Spiegel, and knowing Spiegel how he played in game 1, he can enable his teammates to really heal for him, and I'm gonna do the rest. But for TUP's side, we're seeing a serious gangplank, we're seeing a Swain and the Lucian, not to mention the lockdown coming from the Skarner. We have yet to see a QSS coming in from any members of UST.
That's going to be very dangerous as well, because Navi as well is the shortest range of most AD carries here on this Lucian, so definitely needs is a more vulnerable target for the rest of UST to go on. But TUP, they have a lot of tools as well. They have more in general damage against UST. It's really all about taking down one key member before the Cosmic Radiance procs.
Or actually take down pressure before he even uses the Cosmic Radiance, because we do see sometimes that he goes in with the Skarner, speeds him up, and then goes for the Crystallize. What are we seeing here?
Could go.
Oh, wait! Oh, yes!
Gets the hit. Just spot on. The rocket takes him out.
That's why. But right on the bot lane, we're seeing some Radiance. Okay. We were talking about Crusher being bullied. Now we're seeing it right now. TUP really burning the Cosmic Radiance, and now they want to take down Crusher, force out his flash. You're not going to get anywhere. You get fissured in!
Has to be very careful here. Spiegel is in the danger zone.
Gets the Crystallize onto Sal. He's a sitting duck, and TUP just eats him up.
So much back and forth.
Engage in from Babyface, and a flag from Sarah. It's not yet over. We're seeing an Ignite popped in, but it's going to be Spiegel with the resets and with the passive, getting that speed boost. But Sarah will be getting the kill.
Way too deep there,
not
coming
yet
from
done.
TUP.
It's not yet over, Grant. This is going to be an extended team fight, and for UST, they're picking up members one by one, and TUP is just giving it to them.
That is a full ace from that extended fight. And man, UST is going to take advantage of it by pushing as deep as they can against the territories of TUP.
They can go really, really deep inside the base of TUP, but they also have to know that at this point, Navi and Miko, they're just spawned out from the fountain, and they will successfully, stop at least UST from breaking down the inhibitor turret, because at this point we're seeing the barrier being live in 1 minute and 25 seconds.
It's like, oh man, that is a mistake.
Very aggressive engage coming from Babyface, but they still will work with it. They can do it. They have Cell with a respawn, with a teleport, but Crashel takes him down.
Oh man. Navi.
Oh my god, man. Yes, Spiegel is mad. He is just dishing out so much damage against TUP. They don't care about damage, we don't care about Acedia, but we will try and clean up the fight. Right now we're seeing Zaw, he could not engage. He has his flash on cooldown, his ultimate is on cooldown, but this will be actually UST backing off.
And they can back off, definitely. And they really need to at that point, because 1 minute away from Baron, it's a very real objective, and they don't want to be dead and going back to that pit during that time. So of course right now, it seems like UST is just taking over, and their hyper carries, the Rise here, the Jinx is scaling so much faster than TUP's. The Gangplank, even with so much gold in Acedia's pockets, and with so much CS lead and the gold as well, it's not really being impactful so far. Hasn't joined a lot of the team fights where Sarah and Spiegel are, so the gold value that TUP is putting out in these team fights isn't as much as UST is bringing out. Bomb, with the late game potential that Swain has, he hasn't reached that point, and Navi is finding it so much harder to deal his damage. When he goes in with Relentless Pursuit, he gets snared by Sarah immediately, and he's within range of Spiegel's rockets over and over.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in range of a Spiegel, he will just quickly close in the gap with the passive from the Jinx. But as of now, guys, The Baron buff is live. Things will get very interesting.
Very spicy.
Very spicy. But the next Drake is also Infernal. Extra spicy. And we're seeing Acidia. Okay, they're in dark.
Dangerous spot.
They don't know what's happening right now. They don't have vision. And that's going to be Babyface trying to back away. Will they succeed? Chompers, well placed by a Spiegel, will force TUP to back off. But as of now, it's going to be UST still sticking in. Realm Warps away straight.
Oh man, straight to the Baron.
Look at that play.
Man, Zahn knows what's up right here. He has the blast cone ready. They have the ward on him as
Will
well.
the steal happen, Atlas? Will it happen? No, it will be.
They'll pull away.
Pull away. There's the reason from the Baron. The Realm Move has been paired. We are seeing ultimates are up for all members except for Sarah. But for TUP, they are just testing UST's patience.
This is the dance of death around the Baron pit, and whoever missteps will fall down into the abyss. And both of these teams do not want to give up any of those big objectives. A fight could brew.
This is careful. This is very... You have to be very careful here because we did see Babyface at the Raptor side. He may go for a flank. But again, I think for TUP and UST, they want to breathe.
They want to breathe, and they do have a little bit of room. Their waves are pushing in their favor right now, so they can go and spend their gold, regroup around the Baron pit, try and control that area even more, and put TUP on the defensive.
And then right now, this Baron buff is live. And the Inferno Drake will be live in 10 seconds. So with the amount of room that UST created, I think they can quickly, you know, go for the Inferno. But we're seeing Acidia as of now in the bot lane pushing the waves in his favor.
There's around a 30-second timer here on that teleport that
could
UST can make a move. That is possible, but it is going to be much more favorable to the one that gets the Baron buff. But it seems like Infernal Drake, it is one of the squishiest Drakes. They can just drive by here and take it. It is live. And look at how quickly Espiegel takes it down. And TUP is really not in a position to try and take the Baron because very well-placed members here by UST, placing just Espiegel to go for the Infernal Drake while having enough threat on the Baron side so the TUP cannot take it under their noses.
This is very deadly for UST because they have two Infernal Drakes, and for TUP, they have to be very careful not to overstep because that's a Rise, that's a Jinx, and the damage is going to be just ridiculous because of the two Infernal Drakes that UST secured.
And like I said, every team fight right now, UST will probably win because their gold is so concentrated in the right areas at this point in the game. Sarah and Espiegel, as I've said, have scaled so much faster than Acidia and Navi. Navi's power really plateaued once Espiegel and Sarah got those few kills, and Babyface and the rest of UST was able to go on him and prevent him from getting even more power.
Oh, look at
that damage.
Look at that rocket. And look at that snare over the vein. Swain though. Well, he is
in a lot of trouble.
He just flashes away. He's kind of scared.
Babyface.
And for Babyface, he engages the Cataclysm, but there's the kind of a rush to slow down Espiegel and Crusher. They're stuck together. Here comes the Radiance. Will buy the time. Denies so much damage from Navi. But Acidia with the barrel. This could be a setup. He has a slow. Babyface kind of low. Acidia going in. He takes down. Babyface. That was for TUP to sweep it up.
Oh man, Cell right now on the run and shadow dashes away. Will try to escape, but Acidia is bloodthirsty.
I want you.
And I think Cell right now just has to accept his fate.
Does he have crystallized? No, it's on cooler. He does have to eat. Is there any way? Will he live?
Yes, Deadman's Predator as well.
We can't escape now. Gets a slow. He gets a slow from the Spirit Blade. Oh, please, no! Oh my god! He gets taken down, everyone!
Wait, he's still alive!
Tifa? Tower dive, barrels.
They have to cancel the dive. Resilience coming from Cell. Surviving that for so long. Oh, that was scary. That's a near-death experience right there.
Life
for
before your eyes.
But that was very well played by TUP. The fact that UST, they lasted very, very long. And they had a lot of value from that Cosmic Radiance, but there, the value, they got the full value from Bomb's kit. That Swain was able to, okay, let's see how all of this happens here. So they just go straight for it, and they're in a pretty good, UST's in a pretty good position here, but they're staying in a very dangerous spot where they're not dealing enough damage because Espiegel and their mid laner, Sarah, aren't doing enough against Bomb and Navi. And Acidia was able to get them from the side with that huge explosive barrel.
Did you see the Phantom barrel he did?
Yeah,
wow.
there was that mechanics. was just so on point, and Sarah as well, doing so much, but not quite enough for the rest of UST.
I mean, with that kind of mechanics, that goes to show the setup that Celia did to clean up that fight.
And that's really one of the fights where Swain gets his full potential.
Oh, look at that outplay.
Oh yeah, almost an outplay, but in the end, Navi still gets the kill. That's really one of the fights where Swain can shine, where he gets to stay in the fight for so long that he gets the full value of his demonic ascension, and that gives him so much sustain and so much damage that, while a lot of attention is placed on him, that gives Acedia and Navi so much free room to hit and deal so much damage.
You want to deal a lot of damage at this point. We're nearing the 26-minute mark. Baron has yet to be taken away by both members of the team. And now, we're just seeing a standstill for now, but we're seeing Acedia pushing out the bot lane.
He does have a lot of power. 250 CS at 26 minutes. I bet he has a lot more gold. I wouldn't be surprised if his gold was very near what Sarah and Spiegel have. And at this point, now that he's starting to build up his items into his Infinity Edge as well, he's starting to become a factor, an actual factor in this game. So UST cannot go for those brute force engages anymore, since now Acedia, once he joins the fight, he's an actual threat.
But when you talk about threats, check out Sarah's KDA tier 729.
729, very scary. They are starting this Baron. It is very, very dangerous still as his
comes
Spiegel, however.
Babyface with a lockdown with the Cataclysm. It's going to be Miko backing away. Cannon Barrage is there. They have burned the Cosmic Radiance. They can go for a re-engage if they want to. They are just trying to delay this Baron.
Miko could possibly still do something. He has to back off, but the rest of TUP is still very full health.
UST has no Cosmic Radiance, but TUP will try and force it out. Acedia with the barrels. No, he cannot set up. He gets the slow. There's the red buff playing the works. Realmer coming in. This is bad news for TUP.
Oh man, and everyone else is just falling one by one.
That red buff jinx is just ridiculous.
Definitely, and his Spiegel pops off right there. Hyper all around. Gets excited after each kill, and now Sarah's going to push in his mid lane, trying to take out Miko as well, while the rest of his team tries and take the Baron basically for free there, and Bomb mispositioned quite a bit. UST instantly pounces on them like a tiger, and that basically denies a lot of the value from Bomb's kit.
So with the Baron buff in the hands for UST Teletigers, I think this is going to establish a considerable lead in a way, not in goal, but the reason why the goal lead is like that is because I bet it's because of Acedia on his gangplank.
Definitely,
but
yeah.
Because of that Baron buff, at least UST can breathe easy.
Let's see what happens here. They could possibly go for a good fight here, but because Bomb instantly gets taken down, the rest of TUP has to scram. Since he's one of the big factors in how they can last in these fights, if Bomb becomes a threat, with his demonic ascension, he can possibly pull enough aggro from UST for Espiegel to become vulnerable. But there, Espiegel gets all the free time he wants.
Now they're eyeing this crouch range. I mean, they're getting all the objectives. And I think we have enough time for one more Drake, I think. One more Elemental, because
possibly
when you go for the Elder Drake, all those stacks you got in the early phase of the game is going to be so worth it.
It's going to pay off so much. Oh, Babyface possibly going for an aggressive move there, but has to back off. But yeah, Bomb, he doesn't have his Zhonya's right now to deny a lot of damage from the Spiegel. That Zhonya's could have helped him a lot to try and go with his Demonic Ascension to stack up, but it seems like here it's going to be huge damage coming here from the rest of UST.
I mean, for TUP, they don't want to back off. It's still too early to say that UST have this one in the bag. They just have the Baron buff, and TUP is known for extending games. They're so well known to turn things around, even though it looks bad.
They have to be very, very careful, though, as UST wants to just knock on their doors and break it down.
I mean, for the 21-minute mark coming in, with the 30 minutes closing in, I gotta say the Baron buff is doing a lot of work for UST, but for TUP, against UST's push, they're actually doing well to try and wave clear out of it.
And they're doing pretty well, but UST is relentless. Whoa, look at that crit. Coming from Espiegel, you do not want to get hit by that, and it's just they're just closing in slowly here. Espiegel, once he gets on the turrets, once he gets some free time on that turret, it's going to be very, very dangerous.
One small mistake, everyone can really change how the game will pan out.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Very close call for him, Spiegel.
TUP needs to make a decision, because if they just let this Baron buff whittle down their turrets, it's just going to end badly for them. Babyface.
Oh, he's in a bad spot. Glacial Fissure will zone him out, forces out Babyface's flash. That's going to be Miko landing the Q, and now they're using the calling to try and scare away members. But the Teletigers, they have pressure, they have the Taric, they can just heal back up and continue the push.
And this wave is going to crash into this turret so low in health, it might go down. Babyface trying to scare away TUP. This inhibitor is the next target in the priority list of UST.
Cataclysm is available, and looks like Saw has been rooted down. This is looking very tense for TUP. Things are looking bad. They have to try and defend this base. Baron power minutes flooding into the base. We're seeing TUP try to make some room here.
They will want to take down this turret as well, but they don't have the wave just yet. They still have a little bit of that Baron buff left in their pockets. They could possibly go for another push here, and the top side is pushing in their favor with a huge wave.
Stun. Miko
has to respond.
He gets the Q onto Babyface. He does back away. He is getting the aggro. We are seeing Sarah trying to control Slap, rooting him down. Here comes the lockdown with the Cosmic Radiance, and bam! He gets denied with so much damage. Will he survive here? He pops the stasis. TUP still healthy. We're seeing Navi. He's still in the zone here, trying to go in, but look at the Unbreakable. Great work from Miko to deny the damage coming from his Miko. We see Cell very low in health. That's going to be TUP scaring away the members of UST.
They have to back off here. Sarah's the only super healthy member.
Cydia, Sarah's coming in. Oh god, very close call.
That was pretty close right there, and I think TUP did a very good job in defending that push from UST. Since Bomb with the Zhonya's, he was able to get a lot of damage, death zone with his Demonic Ascension. The rest of TUP doing so well too, with Acedia with the barrels, and Navi being able to weave in and out. He's starting to catch up in terms of how they can fight these against UST.
Oh man, 33 minutes closing in. Atlas, we're seeing a goal lead of 4,000 onto UST Tiger side, but at this late point in the game, does it matter, Atlas?
Almost not, because they're very close to finishing all of their items. The stats are so close as well, and it's really the concentration of the gold doing very well for TUP, even though they are behind a few thousand gold. I'm pretty sure the concentration of that around Navi and Acedia is a big factor in how they're still being able to deal a lot of damage against UST.
And for that fact, I mean, the early lead was great for UST. They were able to manage with 7 turrets. That gave them so much room to take away 3 Drakes. So the next Drake will be the Cloud Drake, spawning in 1 minute and 30 seconds. And the next Baron, everyone will spawn in 1 minute and 36. This is gonna get really interesting, because we are seeing TUP, despite UST getting the first Baron of the game, they still try their best actually to defend the incoming wave. So
they have a very good wave here as well, coming from Bomb, coming from Acedia as well. But UST still very good in clearing these waves with just the rockets come from his Spiegel. They want to close in on every structure that TUP has. This bot lane inhibitor will fall very quickly if his Spiegel even touches it once with his minigun.
Okay, Barrel coming in. No Phantom Barrel happening.
To be very careful still. You do not want to give Bomb those souls in his Spiegel.
Oh, Bomb is forced back away, but it's going to be Miko setting up the station for the slow. There comes the Raiden to the nice double damage. Spiegel survives with the barrier, and the stand united. Acedia though takes down Babyface, but his Spiegel is live and healthy. Sa is trying his best to zone him out. He's soaking up so much damage, but Navi will be protected by Acedia, but it will be Sarah to get that double kill, and that's going to be the Hyper, and that's game!
And he just resets over and over with his minigun, with his rockets, taking it away. He survived that barrel blast with a sliver of health with the rest of the support of his teammates. And he lives. He becomes the huge DPS at the end of that fight and takes away this game, this third game in this best of 5.
The third game of the best of 5 series. It will be UST Tigers taking away 1 win, making this a 2-1.
Yeah, that was definitely impressive there, and there's a lot of digest from that game. It might seem like it was a back and forth, but it's mostly because of the timings for the power spikes in gold for Acedia, for the timings for the items for Bomb as well. And I think UST did well with the time that Acedia, the free time that Acedia gave while he was farming up, and it really paid off for them taking advantage of that.
I mean, when it comes to buying time, I mean, UST, they know their win conditions so well. But for TUP, they also made a lot of mistakes, especially the fact where Spiegel had to rep up Asidia and his other teammates fell down slowly. I mean, they could not escape from the Jinx's range.
It's really how they played those team fights as well, in terms of how close Spiegel gets to dying, and then he gets saved by the rest of his teammates just in the nick of time. It's really a lot of these members surviving with all the tools that they have and then being that threat to the rest of the members of the opposing team.
This is going to be the conclusion of our third game. We will be moving on to game 4. So everyone, I think we are sitting at, in a way, match point because this is a best of 5 series. We'll be back after a short break. My name is Vulcan, with me was Atlas. See you after the short commercial break. Babyface is closer and knocking their demon extension is coming in with the kind of a run from the top lane, and here comes Retro with a heal. This is going to be that first blood going to use the Tigers. Here comes Bam, popping that stopwatch, buys him some time, but he still will fall for the break with a Ignite ticking down. Navi takes down Babyface. There's only 2 members left for the damn lane. That's going to be a clean up, and here comes Bam from the mid lane. Vision of Empire will not connect, but it's going to enable. Coming in. This is going to be tower dive by the top Tigers. It's going to succeed. Celtics on top, and next is Nico, but he does find some time with the stopwatch. But in the end, he will be satisfied. You're not going to get anywhere. You get fissured in.
Has to be very careful here. Spiegel is in the danger zone.
Gets the crystallized onto Sal. He's a sitting duck, and TUP just eats him up.
So much back and forth.
Engage in from Babyface and a flash on Sarah. It's not yet over. We're seeing an Ignite pop in, but it's going to be Spiegel. Will the reset and even the passive getting the features. But Sarah, aggressive engage coming from Babyface, but they still will work with it. They can do it. They have Cell. With a respawn, with a teleport, but Greco takes him down.
I'll be
man. Spiegel is mad. He is just damage against PvP. They don't care about damage, we don't care about Spiegel, but we will try and see maybe the characters, but there's the kind of a rush to slow down Spiegel and Pressure. They're stuck together. Here comes the Radiance, they're buying the time. Denies so much damage from Navi, but Asidia with the barrel. This could be a setup. He has the slow. Babyface getting low. Asidia going in. He takes down. Takes down Baby and goes for TUP to sweep it up.
Oh man, so right now on the run.
UST has no constant radiance, but TUP will try and push it out. Asidia with his barrel. No, he cannot set up. He gets the slow. There's the red ball playing the works. One more coming in. This is bad news for TUP.
And everyone else is just falling one by one.
Red buff Jinx is just useless.
Definitely, and it's Spiegel to get down these goals here. Spiegel.
Bam is pushed back away by TUP. Nico setting up the creature for the slow. Then comes the radiance. Spiegel survives the barrier and the stand united. Asidia will take some Babyface, but Spiegel is live and healthy. Sa is trying his best to zone him out. He's soaking up so much damage, but Navi will be protected by Asidia, but it will be Sarah to get that double kill, and that's going to be the Hyper, and that's game.
And he just resets over and over with his minigun, with his rockets, taking it away. He survived that barrel blast with a sliver of health with the rest of the support of his teammates. And he lives. He becomes the huge DPS at the end of that fight and takes away this game, this fifth